We got mail. What do we get this week? Thanks for tuning in to All Things Fish. Let's find out real quick. Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Mike right here at All Things Fish, and now that I'm back home, it's time to catch up on some things. So, what did we get? We got boxes all over the place. We got stuff from, we'll find out just momentarily. But before we get into that, hope you're all doing well. Thanks again for all your support. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and please do so. Also, smash the thumbs up if you like this video. If you don't like this video, hit the thumbs down button, but please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see done differently, and we'll make it happen. I'm looking for feedback. Let me know in the comments, please. Yes, no, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you want to see more of? What do you maybe want to see done a little bit different so that you might enjoy these videos a little bit more? Do you feel like you're learning something out of the videos? I hope you do. That's the point. That's why we're here. There are some channels out there that are purely for entertainment value, and that's fine. There's nothing against that. However, it's my goal to not only entertain you a little bit, but to teach you something and learn something myself along the way. So, once again, thanks for everything. Thanks for those of you guys that tune in to the live streams every Tuesday night at 10 Eastern. It's a lot of fun. Lately, we've had about 30 people there, and that's great. That's an awesome number because it seems like the majority of those 30 people really enjoy the stream. They like asking questions, putting in their input, and your value and the knowledge that you have is greatly valued. And it really... obviously, you know, I can sit up here and I'll babble about, you guessed it, all things fish until I'm blue in the face. But you guys chatting it up, asking questions, giving me feedback, letting me know what your experience is what really makes those live streams what they could potentially be. And that's great. It's a lot of fun. We all do some learning, and we get to share our experiences and see what does work for people, what doesn't work for people, and maybe get some ideas to try new things. Now, as you can see, I am home. I've been home from Guam for a couple weeks. I'm finally getting back into video mode, you know. It's been a couple weeks since I've been home, catching up with the family, getting back into the grind at work. And while I do enjoy my job, sometimes it can be a grind. We all get it, right? So behind me, I'll post some pictures and maybe some video in a little bit here, and you'll get to see a little more of the 125. You can see it's more or less halfway torn apart right now. It's kind of a disaster. I was gone for 2 months, and being gone for 2 months doesn't go without its problems. So I've had some catching up to do, but I think this tank is finally turning around the corner, and you guys will get to see some of it when it doesn't look so great. You'll also get to see it once it turns around and hopefully starts looking better. So please stay tuned for those videos. But that's not why we're here tonight. Why we're here is we got all kinds of mail. I got stuff from a couple friends here that we're gonna open up in this video. And then I'll make another video showing off these other ones. So we'll set these two to the side for now. And despite this package here saying live fish on the side, it is scribbled out. And it has a fancy paint job, courtesy of one of my buddies that keeps planting tanks. Now, while I was gone, my wife took great care of the tank. Unfortunately, when it came down to the last couple of weeks before I got home, there were a couple problems with the tank. There were a couple plants that overgrew the tank as a whole and started choking stuff out. So, when I get new plants, as soon as I'm able to propagate them, I like to spread them out to people I know. That way, if I ever have a problem where a tank ends up looking pretty rough, like when I got home, that I'm able to get those plants back. I've also got friends that like to acquire plants that I don't have, and that's wonderful because then I get new stuff too, so it works out. So let's see what's in box number 1. Now, since the weather's finally clearing up here in the Midwest, we've gone from 25 below zero to a whopping 60 degrees warmer to just barely breaking freezing. So things are starting to thaw out. It's a little bit safer to start shipping some plants. Now, with that being said, there have still been some problems with the Postal Service, which is how this was sent. So this was shipped out on Tuesday of last week. Currently, it is Monday, the beginning of March. So it's been in the mail, sub-zero temperatures, for over a week. So let's see how things work. And obviously, as you can see by this beautiful tape job, this is the first time I've opened this one up. So let's see what my buddy John sent. And I like the packing job. First, he used 1-inch styrofoam insulation. Now, there's no heat pack in here, but this insulation is going to keep these plants sufficiently warm considering when he shipped it. He also used large bags, but he has a heat sealer to make nice little pockets to separate each of these plants out, which works great. Now, this larger stem plant that you see there, sorry for the glare, is Ludwigia Super Red, which is probably one of the easiest bright red plants that you can grow. Doesn't require CO2, doesn't require an insane amount of light to show some of that maroon or red coloration. Now, the higher light, more CO2, you'll get more vibrant colors, denser growth, just an overall better looking plant. Lower light, a little bit less CO2, you're going to get more of a maroon color, so a little bit darker, maybe some lengthier growth. So when I say lengthier growth, it's a plant that's going to grow taller to reach that light that it desires, so you'll have more space between leaf nodes. I'll get more into that in a later video. Let's see what else we got in here. All right, now this plant here, this taller plant almost resembles Hygrophila corymbosa angustifolia, which is the willow leaf hygro. So corymbosa is the more popular variant, angustifolia is the narrow leaf or the willow leaf variant. Under high light, like I'll show you later, this plant will actually turn red. It does take a little bit to get there, but it'll happen. On this other side of this package, since he heat sealed these tubes, we have several stems of what looks like to me Bacopa, and I believe that is probably Colorado. It's green, but I know we had this in a little bit lower light tank. So generally speaking, a lot of plants that have a propensity to display red or other coloration may just revert to green when kept under low light. But as you can see, these plants shipped without a heat pack in the winter with proper packing and taken care of, even a week in the mail, those plants will go straight into the tank and they're going to take off right away. No problem. So don't hesitate to order fish, shrimp, plants just because of the cold weather. If the person knows what they're doing, you're still going to get plants that look good and specimens that are alive. Now this one I'm super excited about. What you have here is a Laganandra species, which is great. They're similar to a crypt, but you don't see them quite so often. Easy growers, medium to low light is just fine. CO2 not required. They do like a little bit softer water conditions. However, this is what I want to get out of this box. If nothing else survives in this box, this is what I want to keep, and you might be able to recognize it from this leaf structure here, but that is an Echinoderus species iguazu, which is a very, it's not necessarily rare. You don't see it very often, but it's a highly sought after plant. And once I get into the tank, I'll open these up here in a little bit, and in a separate video, once I get them in the tank, you'll get to see that iguazu sword. I'm super excited about this one. Like I said, if nothing else in the box makes it, this is the one I want. What else did he send? Well, let's take a look. All right, he sent another, that's a Laganandra silver powder. Like again, it's similar to a crypt in its growth patterns. However, it does have green with kind of a silver sheen to it, and some little bit, almost a variegation, but some lighter colored patches throughout the leaf. There's also a Laganandra chocolate in here, which is just a different color morph, and that right there is Storagine repens. Super easy carpeting plant. Does like CO2, but I've been able to get it to carpet without CO2 under proper lighting with a quality substrate. And then we're at the bottom of the box. So after a week in the mail, I received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 species of plants shipped from Massachusetts to Iowa, sub-zero temps. Great packing job. Everything arrived alive. Awesome. Wonderful. Super excited. Now, box number 2. This one's a little bit bigger, and I know that this is plants, and it's from another friend that I swap plants with back and forth all the time. Now, this friend happens to live about 3 hours away, so I do see him occasionally, but it's just super convenient for both of us to mail plants back and forth. So again, let's see how this one is packaged and see if we can see a difference in these plants that have been in the mail since Saturday. Today's Monday, so that's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. A little over 48 hours from the time we dropped them off to the time they got to my door. Now, instead of the 1-inch styrofoam insulation, this is a flexible foam with a foil side insulation. And again, these are plants packaged a little bit differently, but they do appear to be in good shape. Instead of heat-sealed bags, these are bags that are folded over and taped shut, so they are airtight. They don't leak with a damp paper towel. I personally ship my plants with a damp paper towel in a similar fashion to this. As you could see, though, John did not, and they arrived great. Some people, find a method that works for you and see how it goes. So, since we can't see through the paper towels, obviously, I'll take a quick peek in here, and we'll see what we got. So this looks like it's probably a couple different species. So that's a needle-leaf Java Fern, again, great shape. Some crypts, that looks like it's probably a Ludia or a Lucens. Another crypt, and this is Java Fern Windaloff. It differentiates Windaloff from the narrow leaf by the branched out ends there. Also, some Anubias Nana Petite. Great little plant, super awesome plant for nanoscapes. It grows slow, not terribly nutrient demanding. And as you can see, although these were packaged differently, both methods seem to have worked equally well. Let's see what's in bag number 2. Again, these plants arrived, they were shipped Saturday. They arrived at my house today, that's Monday. Temperatures are outside are around 25 degrees. And what we have here is a beautiful Eriocalon Malayator in great shape. That's a good sized plant. And it looks like it should settle in nicely, has a quality root structure to it. Those roots are nice and white, which means they're healthy. They're ready to go. Again, that'll get planted in the tank behind me. That's a 125 that I do use CO2. 3 prisms from Nylock G on top. And the substrate is actually Amazonia. So ADA, it's an aqua soil. And in here, we have a few different species. I see some Hygrophila Araguaia, some Rotala Ramsoir Florida. Now this is green. However, I know that Kyle recently chopped up his tank because it was overgrown. So while this is green currently, it will show an awesome purple color once I get it under higher light. That tank was just, it had a lot of growth in there from the Ludwigia Pantanol that is actually in one of these other bags, he said. So we'll take a look at that shortly. Again, that looks like some Ludwigia arcuata and some more of the Rotala Ramsoir Florida. Additionally, he sent a couple crowns of Pogostemon Helferi Red. And depending on the light, your Pogostemon Helferi is a nice carpeting plant that gets bushy with these crinkly leaves here. See if I can get it, maybe a little bit. The red variant towards the center of the crown will display some red coloration. Again, Great species. They'll be an awesome addition to the tank. I've kept some of them before. A couple of them are new, so we'll see how they do. And much appreciated there. We're off to a good start rebuilding this tank behind me. As you can see, obviously it still has about 30 species in it. Once I get the species from these two packages planted in there, we'll be back up to about 50 species where I was before I left for my trip to Guam. So let's see, another 4-inch tube, and I like these tubes. They ship well, pretty easy to ship. And what we have here is, I believe, this is going to be, that's a Cryptocorin, and I believe that's the Affinis Metallic Red. A nice Anubias, that's a good chunk there. You got a couple inch rhizome, probably 10 to 12 leaves. All look like they're in pretty good shape, algae free, which is awesome. And people ask me where I get my plants most of the time, like, oh, do you know anybody that I could buy plants from? What website should I go to? And there are some great online vendors out there. However, all my plants just come from fellow hobbyists. You're gonna get more for your money. You're gonna be able to find rarer stuff. It's gonna be in better shape, better portion sizes. And it just, that's the way I prefer. A lot of people like tissue cultures. Tissue cultures are fine. I like established plants myself. So here we have, now I'm not super great at identifying Lucephalandra, but that is a good looking Lucephalandra species. You can see kind of the red and pink hues in that. That was grown in a low-tech tank, no CO2, medium to low lighting Lucephalandra, great low light species, not nutrient demanding. They do appreciate a little bit softer water, and they're starting to become pretty readily available in the hobby. So we already saw the standard narrow leaf Java Fern, which everybody's pretty familiar with. We also saw the Windaloff Java Fern, which has been around for a long time. Again, the Windaloff gets the fringes down at the ends of the leaves. And here we have a standard leaf Java Fern. So these will go in my low-tech tanks. So no CO2, lower light, slower growers. Again, they're great for sucking up nitrates, providing shelter for fry, and breeding sites for a lot of your Corydoras. Will actually spawn on Java Ferns pretty well because of the leaf size. Some of your Danios and Rasboras will also scatter their eggs amongst the leaves too. Here we go, pulling out another bag, and this was, like I mentioned before, that I knew was in here. Well, there's some more crypts. I believe that's possibly a Affinis Metallic Red. Right there, you can see the good coloration. I'll have to take a look at that under some better lighting. Again, more of those crypts. And what we have here is Limnophyla Aromatica, which gets purple on the bottom of the leaves, green on top. Usually, higher light, you'll start to see some of the purple on top and some maroon color as well. Super easy, does not require CO2, medium light. So when I say medium light, I'm looking about 40 plus mole par, and it'll grow pretty tall, nice bushy plant for a stem at least. Like I said, you can see kind of, there's pretty good growth there. There's quite a few leaves, and it's aptly named Limnophyla Aromatica because when you break that stem, it does produce a lovely aroma. Aromatica, aromate, makes sense. Last bag in here. Now this one is a little bit bigger, and I can tell what it is just because of some of the leaves that are loose, and sometimes you'll see that in shipping. Some plants are a little more sensitive than others, so they may drop some leaves just to be handled. But this is a pretty good sized bunch of, and easy to, well, when I say easy to grow, once you establish proper conditions, it does like a little bit softer water. Higher light brings out these red and pink colorations, and you'll see more dense growth. But this is a big bunch, probably 30 stems there if I had to guess, of Ludwigia inclinata. This is the Pantanal varietal, so this will show more of your red-pink colorations, where the Ludwigia inclinata Cuba will show your greens under lower light and then your yellows and oranges. Like I said, it's the same species, just a different variety, has a little bit tendency to display some different coloration. So we went through 2 boxes of plants, both shipped in the winter, both arrived in great shape. I mean, we got everything from crypts, super easy stuff. Again, the Rotala Ramtoir Florida, not so easy, a little bit tougher. I struggled with this at first, however, I think I had it figured out before I left. Displays great purple coloration, all the way up to some of the rare, more expensive swords, like this Econodurus SP Iguazu. So, as you can see, if you buy from somebody that knows how to ship, weather really isn't a factor. Even with a week-long delay, these plants arrived in great shape. They're super healthy, they're gonna go in the tank and take off right away. So don't be shy, just make sure you're buying from reputable people. Make some friends in the Planted Tank groups, plantedtank.net, find out who has a good reputation, who knows how to ship, who doesn't know how to ship, and by buying healthy plants from fellow hobbyists or a quality retailer that has an awesome reputation, you have a good experience with them, or somebody has a direct experience with them that you can trust, you're going to increase your chance of success keeping planted tanks. So I would say keeping planted tanks, set yourself up for success, buy quality livestock to begin with. But that's it for now. We checked out 2 boxes of plants. We got, what I say, 9, another 1, probably another 15, so probably 24 species between 2 boxes. 1 box shipped from Iowa to Iowa, like I said, 3 hours away, a little under a 3-day trip. 25-degree temperatures, no problem, using just bags taped to closed, and this foil backed. It's a very small insulation. Another box of plants shipped from Massachusetts to Iowa, took about 7 days, no heat pack, just a 1-inch piece of styro cut to ship the shape of the box, which is great. That's going to go a long way towards controlling the temperature inside. 9 species there, heat sealed, not wrapped in paper towels. Both methods worked. So like I said, if you have any questions about shipping plants, receiving plants, or if you're looking for a few names of reputable people to purchase your plants from, let me know. Drop me an email, mike.allthingsfish@gmail.com. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought. It's a pretty good haul. I would say, I've got a lot of work ahead of me, a bunch of plants to plant. But you can see, over there where I've started pulling stuff out, not so much over here. It's a little bit of a mess, but I've got room to work with, and I'm super excited to get these plants in the tank, get them growing, and then once they take off, I can distribute them to you guys. So, thanks for stopping by. If you didn't hit the buttons below, the like, the subscribe, the share, whatever, do the things that YouTube likes so that I can reach more of you guys, so that I can try to teach you a little bit more, or I can learn from people. There's some of you guys that I'm learning a lot from, and that's great. But that's it for now. Stay tuned. We'll see ya. Oh, I almost forgot. So tomorrow night, Tuesday, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Aquatic Exchange, Priscilla and I will live stream. We're going to talk about fertilizers. And speaking of fertilizers, speaking of plants, we got all this good stuff. Let's figure out how to grow it. Let's talk about fertilizers. Colin Grice from Nylock G Aquatics offered to donate some fertilizer packages. So we have a bottle of Thrive and an estimated index, so the dry salt combo pack, that we're going to give away during tomorrow night's stream while we talk about ferts for planted tanks. See you there, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, All Things Fish. Can't wait to talk to you guys. Have a great night.